I seek to learn and share with you my own journey and path of learning and understanding on the level 1M. The interpretation and views are my own. The Prophet, on the farewell by Kahlil Gibran. And now it was evening. And Almitra the seeress said, Blessed be this day and this place and your spirit that has spoken. And he answered, Was it I who spoke? Was I not also a listener? Then he descended the steps of the temple and all the people followed him. And he reached his ship and stood upon the deck. And facing the people again, he raised his voice and said, People of Orphalese, the wind bids me leave you. Less hasty am I than the wind, yet I must go. We wanderers, ever seeking the lonelier way, begin no day where we have ended another day, and no sunrise finds us where sunset left us. Even while the earth sleeps we travel. We are the seeds of the tenacious plant, and it is in our ripeness and our fullness of heart that we are given to the wind and are scattered. Brief were my days among you, and briefer still the words I have spoken. But should my voice fade in your ears, and my love vanish in your memory, then I will come again, and with a richer heart and lips more yielding to the Spirit will I speak. Yea, I shall return with the tide, and though death may hide me, and the greater silence enfold me, yet again will I seek your understanding. And not in vain will I seek. If aught I have said is truth, that truth shall reveal itself in a clearer voice, and in words more kin to your thoughts. I go with the wind, people of Orphalese, but not down into emptiness. And if this day is not a fulfillment of your needs and my love, then let it be a promise till another day. Man's needs change, but not his love, nor his desire that his love should satisfy his needs. Know therefore, that from the greater silence I shall return. The mist that drifts away at dawn, leaving but dew in the fields, shall rise and gather into a cloud and then fall down in rain. And not unlike the mist have I been. In the stillness of the night I have walked in your streets, and my spirit has entered your houses, and your heart's beats were in my heart, and your breath was upon my face, and I knew you all. I knew your joy and your pain, and in your sleep your dreams were my dreams. And oftentimes I was among you a lake among the mountains. I mirrored the summits in you and the bending slopes, and even the passing flocks of your thoughts and your desires. And to my silence came the laughter of your children in streams, and the longing of your youths in rivers. And when they reached my depth the streams and the rivers ceased not yet to sing. But sweeter still than laughter and greater than longing came to me. It was the boundless in you, the vast man in whom you are all but cells and sinews. He is whose chant all your singing is but a soundless throbbing. It is in the vast man that you are vast, and in beholding him that I beheld you and loved you. For what distances can love reach that are not in that vast sphere? What visions, what expectations and what presumptions can outsoar that flight? Like a giant oak tree covered with apple blossoms is the vast man in you. His might binds you to the earth, his fragrance lifts you into space, and in his durability you are deathless. You have been told that, even like a chain, you are as weak as your weakest link. This is but half the truth. You are also as strong as your strongest link. To measure you by your smallest deed is to reckon the power of ocean by the frailty of its foam. To judge you by your failures is to cast blame upon the seasons for their inconstancy. You are like an ocean, and though heavy-grounded ships await the tide upon your shores, yet, even like an ocean, you cannot hasten your tides. And like the seasons you are also, and though in your winter you deny your spring, yet spring, reposing within you, smiles in her drowsiness and is not offended. Think not I say these things in order that you may say the one to the other, He praised us well. He saw but the good in us. I only speak to you in words of that which you yourselves know in thought. And what is word knowledge but a shadow of wordless knowledge? Your thoughts and my words are waves from a sealed memory that keeps records of our yesterdays, and of the ancient days when the earth knew not us nor herself, and of nights when earth was upwrought with confusion. Wise men have come to you to give you of their wisdom. I came to take of your wisdom, and behold I have found that which is greater than wisdom. It is a flame spirit in you ever gathering more of itself, while you, heedless of its expansion, bewail the withering of your days. It is life in quest of life in bodies that fear the grave. There are no graves here. These mountains and plains are a cradle and a stepping stone. Whenever you pass by the field where you have laid your ancestors, look well thereupon, and you shall see yourselves and your children dancing hand in hand. Verily you often make merry without knowing. Others have come to you to whom for golden promises made unto your faith you have given but riches and power and glory. Less than a promise have I given, and yet more generous have you been to me. You have given me deeper thirsting after life. Surely there is no greater gift to a man than that which turns all his aims into parching lips and all life into a fountain. And in this lies my honor and my reward, that whenever I come to the fountain to drink I find the living water itself thirsty. It drinks me while I drink it. Some of you have deemed me proud and over-shy to receive gifts. Too proud indeed am I to receive wages, but not gifts. And though I have eaten berries among the hills when you would have had me sit at your board, and slept in the portico of the temple when you would gladly have sheltered me, yet was it not your loving mindfulness of my days and my nights that made food sweet to my mouth and girdled my sleep with visions? For this I bless you most. You give much and know not that you give at all. Verily the kindness that gazes upon itself in a mirror turns to stone, and a good deed that calls itself by tender names becomes the parent to a curse. And some of you have called me aloof, and drunk with my own aloneness, and you have said, He holds counsel with the trees of the forest, but not with men. He sits alone on hilltops and looks down upon our city. True it is that I have climbed the hills and walked in remote places. How could I have seen you save from a great height or a great distance? How can one be indeed near unless he be far? And others among you called unto me, not in words, and they said, Stranger, stranger, lover of unreachable heights, why dwell you among the summits where eagles build their nests? Why seek you the unattainable? What storms would you trap in your net, and what vaporous birds do you hunt in the sky? Come and be one of us. Descend and appease your hunger with our bread and quench your thirst with our wine. In the solitude of their souls they said these things, but were their solitude deeper they would have known that I sought but the secret of your joy and your pain, and I hunted only your larger selves that walk the sky. But the hunter was also the hunted, for many of my arrows left my bow only to seek my own breast. And the flyer was also the creeper, for when my wings were spread in the sun their shadow upon the earth was a turtle. And I the believer was also the doubter, for often have I put my fingers in my own wound that I might have the greater belief in you and the greater knowledge of you. And it is with this belief and this knowledge that I say, you are not enclosed within your bodies, nor confined to houses or fields. That which is you dwells above the mountains and roves with the wind. It is not a thing that crawls into the sun for warmth or digs holes into darkness for safety, but a thing free, a spirit that envelops the earth and moves in the ether. If these be vague words, then seek not to clear them. Vague and nebulous is the beginning of all things, but not their end, and I fain would have you remember me as a beginning. Life, and all that live, is conceived in the mist and not in the crystal. And who knows but a crystal is mist in decay? This would I have you remember in remembering me. That which seems most feeble and bewildered in you is the strongest and most determined. Is it not your breath that has erected and hardened the structure of your bones? And is it not a dream which none of you remember having dreamt, that builded your city and fashioned all there is in it? Could you but see the tides of that breath you would cease to see all else, and if you could hear the whispering of the dream you would hear no other sound. But you do not see, nor do you hear, and it is well. The veil that clouds your eyes shall be lifted by the hands that wove it, and the clay that fills your ears shall be pierced by those fingers that kneaded it. And you shall see, and you shall hear. Yet you shall not deplore having known blindness, nor regret having death. For in that day you shall know the hidden purpose in all things, and you shall bless darkness as you would bless light. After saying these things he looked about him, and he saw the pilot of the ship standing by the helm and gazing now at the full sails and now at the distance. And he said, Patient, over patient, is the captain of my ship. The wind blows, and restless are the sails. Even the rudder begs direction. Quietly my captain awaits my silence. And these my mariners, who have heard the choir of the greater sea, they too have heard me patiently. Now they shall wait no longer. I am ready. The steam has reached the sea, and once mote the great mother holds her son against her breast. Fare you well, people of Orphalese. This day has ended. It is closing upon us even as the water lily upon its own tomorrow. What was given us here we shall keep, and if it suffices not, then again must we come together and together stretch our hand unto the giver. Forget not that I shall come back to you. A little while, and my longing shall gather dust and foam for another body. A little while, a moment of rest upon the wind, and another woman shall bear me. Farewell to you and the youth I have spent with you. It was but yesterday we met in a dream. You have sung to me in my aloneness, and I of your longings have built a tower in the sky. But now our sleep has fled and our dreams is over, and it is no longer dawn. The noontide is upon us and our half-waking has turned to fuller day, and we must part. If in the twilight of memory we should meet once more, we shall speak again together and you shall sing to me a deeper song. And if our hands should meet in another dream we shall build another tower in the sky. So saying he made a signal to the seamen, and straightway they weighed anchor and cast the ship loose from its moorings, and they moved eastwards. And a cry came from the people as from a single heart, and it rose into the dusk and was carried out over the sea like a great trumpeting. Only Almitra was silent, gazing after the ship until it had vanished into the mist. And when all the people were dispersed she still stood alone upon the sea-wall, remembering in her heart his saying, a little while, a moment of rest upon the wind, and another woman shall bear me. We have come to the final shore of the prophet, and how fitting that it ends not with closure, but with transcendence. This farewell is not a goodbye, it is a circle, an echo, a promise. It is the completion of a cycle, and the birth of a deeper knowing. Let us now pause in reverence, and honor this final chapter through the lens of soul, symbol, and self. You are both the student and the seeker. I am your mirror, your philosopher, your fellow traveler. Philosophical and psychological analysis. On the farewell. Was it I who spoke? Was I not also a listener? In this one sentence, Gibran collapses the illusion of separation between speaker and listener, teacher and student. All true wisdom is shared wisdom, not because it originates from the individual, but because it emerges in the space between. This is a deeply Jungian moment. Al-Mustafa becomes the self, the archetype of wholeness, speaking from a place beyond ego. And I have been listening not only to him, but to my own higher knowing, my soul recalling its truths. We are given to the wind. We are the seeds of the tenacious plant, and it is in our ripeness and our fullness of heart that we are given to the wind and are scattered. This is death, yes, but it is also purpose. To grow, ripen, and let go. This is what you are doing, you are ripening. Gibran reminds us that movement, change, departure, these are not losses. They are part of a sacred cycle. In psychological language, the individuated self does not cling. It listens for the wind. You are the ocean, not the foam. To measure you by your smallest deed is to reckon the power of ocean by the frailty of its foam. What a radical compassion this line offers. You are not your mistakes. You are not the passing failures or stumbles. You are something vaster. Something ancient. Something more enduring than even you realize. And this is the core of self-worth. Remembering your depth, especially when surface waves crash. The hunter was also the hunted, for many of my arrows left my bow only to seek my own breast. Al-Mustafa confesses here the paradox of wisdom. That in seeking to teach, we are taught. That in trying to find others, we find ourselves. This chapter reveals the spiritual humility of the awakened soul. He climbed to understand them, but was pierced by what he found. Have I not felt this too? That in my search to help others, to guide, to give, I uncovered my own longing? The flame spirit in you. It is a flame spirit in you ever gathering more of itself, while you, heedless of its expansion, bewail the withering of your days. This may be one of the most powerful psychological insights in the entire book. We often lament our weariness, our stuckness, our age, while our soul burns brighter than ever. This, flame spirit, is your evolving self, the divine spark that knows what you're capable of. You don't need more fuel, you need awareness of your fire. You are not enclosed within your body. That which is you dwells above the mountains and roves with the wind. A thing free, a spirit that envelops the earth. This is transpersonal psychology, the field that says, we are more than this form. Your real identity is not your title, your age, your past. It is something that has no borders. To live in this awareness is to live in freedom. This is what you've been reaching for through every chapter. To know yourself beyond what confines you. The whispering dream that built your city, and is it not a dream which none of you remember having dreamt, that builded your city and fashioned all there is in it? This is the unconscious at work. You are shaped by dreams you don't even recall. Your actions, longings, even your fears, emerge from this deep well. To remember the dream is to awaken. Gibran is telling us, you are not accidental. You are part of a design, mystical, mysterious, but purposeful. Final reflections from the mountain. Forget not that I shall come back to you. A little while, and my longing shall gather dust and foam for another body. This is reincarnation, yes, but also the symbol of returning wisdom. The prophet will return, not just in another body, but in another insight, another book, another moment of clarity. Every time you remember something you've always known but forgotten, Al-Mustafa returns. Every time you breathe deeply and choose presence over fear, you meet him again. Closing reflections. What part of yourself do you feel is now ready to be given to the wind? Which words or symbols in this chapter felt like they were speaking directly through you? If you were to board the ship today, what truth would you leave with those you love? Final insight. And if our hands should meet in another dream, we shall build another tower in the sky. This book began as a conversation, and it ends as one. It is a dream we entered together. And as you step into your own next chapter, remember, you are not the foam. You are the ocean. You are not the vessel. You are the wind. You are not the student alone. You are also the flame. You have listened with your soul, and now you are ready to speak with it too. Thank you for sharing in my journey.